It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yes, 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 folks. It is that time. Spoilers are all wrapped up. The new set is about to drop, which means we will have a new limited format. For as much as I enjoyed playing M21, these core sets just don't do it for me, and I am pumped for Zendikar Rising Limited. We started creating a cheat sheet. Now, this is a interesting cheat sheet in the sense that it's not all the cards, it's not meant to overwhelm, it's not meant to go in depth in every single color pair, rankings, yada yada, but it's a quick hitting reference sheet to familiarize yourself with the combat tricks, the removal, and other spells you may need to be aware of. I included pictures because we all like pictures, and it's good to know what these cards look like when you have to make these speedy decisions at the draft table. Like I said, this is not a power ranking or archetype overviews. People dedicate hours and hours to them, so be sure to check them out. LR, Lords of Limited, Nizahone, just to name a few. So with that being said, I'm going to have the link to this actual PDF down below, so feel free to share it and enjoy. So first up, we are going to go in Woburg order. So in terms of white removal spells, first up is going to be Journey to Oblivion. I'm loving the combination of Journey to Nowhere and Oblivion Ring. It's a 5-drop, 4 and a white. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. I'm assuming everyone knows what party is by this point. When it ETBs, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Journey of Oblivion leaves the battlefield. So again, solid. More likely than not, it's going to be hitting for 4 or 3, and I think that's a decent rate for that. Next up, we're going to have Practice Tacticians. Choose an attack on your blocking creature. Practice Tacticians deals damage to that creature equal to twice the number of creatures in your party. So again, 1 mana deal 2 damage, solid. 1 mana deal 4 damage, even better. So I think that will not be that hard to trigger. Seems like a solid, great rate removal spell. Next up, Smite the Monsters. We've seen cards like this before. Destroy target creature of power 4 or greater. Usually see that as an exile clause, so it's a slightly worse version of it, but again, gets the job done for white. Undo Inversion is going to be one of the sweepers in the format. Flip card, 6 white, destroy all non-land permanents, and on the flip side, it's going to be one of those ETB tapped white sources of mana. Kabira's Takedown. Takedown deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker, and it's going to be one of those ETB tapped white sources of mana. In terms of combat tricks for white, we're going to have Allied Assault. Up to 2 target creatures each get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures in your party. So we're seeing that these white removal and combat tricks are starting to favor the party mechanic for white specifically. Dauntless Unity. Kicker of 1 colorless, 1 white. Creatures you control go +1/+1. If it was kicked, those creatures get +2/+1 instead. So favoring going wide for white. Nahiri's Bindings up next. It's an enchantment, 1 colorless, 2 white. Enchant creature or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities cannot be activated. So it's going to be able to hit your planeswalkers, shut down their abilities, and any pesky creatures you have. 3 mana is about the rate we want to see for this in limited. Another flip card in Tajiri's Shelter. Instant target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn, and it's going to be one of those tap lands producing white mana, ETB tap of course. And last, rounding out the white combat tricks is Resolute Strike. Target creature gets +2/+2 till the end of turn. If it's a warrior, you may attach an equipment you control to it. Nice little combat trick. Those are equipments that ETB and attach to a creature. This could be used to kind of speed that up, to kind of turbo it back onto a creature for 1 white mana. Solid in that. Moving on to blue. For removal, blue's not known for its removal in the color pie, so I've added counters to this as well. The first one is Anti-Cognition. Counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless control pays 2. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, instead counter that spell, then inscribe 2. We're going to see that a lot in this blue, caring about having that threshold of 8 cards in an opponent's graveyard to give you some additional bonus. Bubble Snare, I think, is going to really enable these control-y blue X decks, paying 1 mana, and then a kicker of 2 and a blue. Wind Bubble Snare enters the battlefield. If it was kicked, tapped enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during control's tap step. Again, coming off of the aggressive M21, this is really gonna slow down the format, I think, at the comment slot as well. So I'm looking forward to actually going through with a non-aggro deck this time around. Concentrated Defense, single blue mana, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1, plus an additional 1 for each creature in your party. So we see a power down Spell Pierce that may get up to the power level of it if you have creatures in your party. Don't anticipate this one seeing much limited play. Negate, reprinted 1,000 times. We all know what it does by now. And our flip card for blue is going to be Jawari Deception. Counter target spell unless controller pays 1. So 4 spike for 2. And flip side is going to be that land enters the battlefield tapped, produces a blue mana. Combat trick / tempo. So first one, Chilling Trap. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. If you control a wizard, draw a card. Next up, Glacial Grasp. Tap target creature, its controller mills 2 cards. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Still pumped that they put mill as a keyword. Into the Royal, a reprint. We've seen it in the past as Blink of an Eye and also as Into the Royal. Kicker for 2, 1 and a blue. Return target non-land permanent to owner's hand. This spell was kicked, draw a card. Very powerful effect. Shell Shield, 1 blue mana, kicker 1, target creature you control gets +0/+3 to end of turn. If the spell was kicked, that creature also gains hexproof until end of turn. Next up, Inscription of Insight. It's a modal card, 3 and a blue, kicker of 2 blue. Choose 1. If the spell was kicked, choose any number instead. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. Scry 2, then draw 2. And target player creates an XX blue illusion creature token, where X is the number of cards in their hand. Last but not least, our double-faced modal card, Bane Veil. 1 colorless and a blue. Creatures your opponent control get -2/-0 until end of turn. And like we've seen before, enters the battlefield tapped land that produces blue mana. Going on to black. Removal is solid here. Bloodchief's Thirst coming up first for us. Single black mana, kicker of 2 colorless and a black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less. If this spell was kicked, instead destroy target creature or planeswalker. So great early game, great late game. Really excited to see this one in standard as well. Deadly Alliance. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. So again, reliably having this turn 4 and potentially having it discounted even more if you're able to pull off the party dream. Feed the Swarm. A colorless and a black. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's converted mana cost. Cool to see black dip into destroy target enchantment. Always good to have. Banish the Weak. 2 colorless and a black. Destroy target creature with power 3 or less. We saw this in Eliminate last set for 1 less. Inscription of Ruin. Sorcery. 2 colorless and a black. Kicker 2 colorless, black. Choose 1 of the spells kicked, choose any number instead. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Return target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. And the last one was destroy target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. Another rare sorcery in Shadow's Verdict. 3 colorless, black. Exile all creatures and planeswalkers with converted mana cost 3 or less from the battlefield, and all creatures and planeswalkers with converted mana cost 3 or less from graveyards. Interesting to see how this one plays out in standard. Could be the nail in the coffin for Uro, doubt it, but a nice little add-on. And also another sweeper we have to kind of put a hamper on those aggro decks. Next up, Soul Shatter. Instant, each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest converted mana cost among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Hagra Mauling. 2 colorless, black. This spell costs 1 less to cast if an opponent has no basic lands. Destroy target creature. Flip side is going to be a enter the battlefield, tapped land that produces black mana. Combat tricks in black, straightforward, Oblivion's Hunger, 1 colorless, 1 black. Target creature you control gains indestructible to end a turn. Draw a card if that creature has a +1/+1 counter on it. We see this +1 counter matters in green-black decks this time around in Zendikar. Subtle Strike, 1 colorless, 1 black. Choose one or both. Target creature gets -1/-1 to end a turn. Put a +1 counter on target creature, so this one can go in removal to handle any early game interactions while buffing a creature. I can see me and many people getting blown out by this card. Red's very strong with removal, like we've seen in the past. First up, we have Cinderclasm, instant kicker red. Cinderclasm deals 1 damage to each creature. If it was kicked, deals 2 damage instead. Again, putting a hamper on those aggro decks. Molten Blast, 2 colorless and a red. Choose one, deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact. Nice modal card you can throw in the main deck. Royal Eruption, 1 colorless, 1 red. Kicker of 5. Royal Eruption deals 3 damage to any target. If the spell was kicked, it deals 5 damage instead. Upgrade for our Lightning Strike. Sizzling Barrage. I know we've seen Searing Barrage before. This time around, it's going to deal 4 damage to target creature that blocked this turn. So good little combo with any trample creatures you got going on. Synchronized Spellcraft is next. 4 in a red. Synchronized Spellcraft deals 4 damage to target creature and X damage to that creature controller, where X is the number of creatures you control in your party. Thundering Rebuke, 1 colorless, 1 red. Thundering Rebuke deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Kazul's Fury, 2 in a red. Instant. Additional cost of this spell, sacrifice a creature. Deals damage equal to the sacrifice creature's power to any target. So an interesting little fling effect attached to a land. And again, these lands come into the battlefield tapped and produce a mana of that color, except for the mythics such as Shattering Smash, X red. Deals X damage divided as you choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalker. If X is 6 or more, Shattering Smash deals twice X divided as you choose instead. So this one's going to enter the battlefield tapped unless you pay 3 life. The sole combat trick in red is going to be Inordinate Rage. 1 in a red, target creature gets +3/+2 to end a turn, scry 1. Move it into green. Not known for its removal spell, but we do have some happy reprints for our limited set. Broken Wings, 2 in a green, destroy target creature with flying, artifact, or enchantment, so a nice modal card. Inscription of Abundance, 1 in a green, kicker of 2 in a green. Choose one. If the spell was kicked, choose any number instead. Put 2 1/1 counters on target creature. Target player gains X life, where X is the greatest power among creatures they control, and target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Rabid Bite, nice little reprint. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Again, this is more of a bite effect, as you see. Rabid Bite, biting, not a fight. So it's only going to deal damage to that creature you're targeting. Your creature will take no damage. Colony Ambush, 2 in a green, instant. Target creature you control fights another target creature you don't control. And land ETB's tap produces a green mana. Combat tricks for green include Bite of the Marassa, colorless and a green, kicker of 2 in a green. Target creature gets +3/+3 to end a turn. If the spell was kicked, the creature gets +5/+5 instead. And Vastwood Fortification, single green, nice little throwback to Vines of Ashwood. Instant, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and the land that we know enters the battlefield tap produces a green. Artifacts, not too much going on here in terms of removal or combat tricks. Relic Amulet's going to be the single one. Nice little wizards / spells matters payoff for you in Relic of Amulet. Whenever you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard spell, put a charge counter on Relic Amulet. Tap 2, tap it. Remove all charge counters from Relic. Deals that much damage to target creature. Well, folks, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this nice little rundown of the removal spells, combat tricks, and little things you should be aware of moving into Zendikar Rising limited sets. If you like it, you want to share it, I'll have it linked down below. Let me know in the comments down below what you're excited for in this new set and what you're pumped for. Can't wait to get my hands on this, and hopefully we get to actually do some paper stuff as well. Stay safe, people. Until next time, take care.